Welcome to Right Gamer. My name's Kevin. Today's episode we're going to be doing a review of the iam8bit collector's edition of Stray and the vinyl record that comes with it. Okay? And it ain't good. It ain't good. This is probably one of the worst collector's editions that I've actually picked up. I myself probably will never purchase anything from them again because this was just objectively very bad. Not to mention it took them this long to create such a bad product within of itself. So this is not a review of the video game Stray, just so we're on the same page. This is a product review. So here it is. Stray. Alright. Now, overall, the design looks good. Black's my favorite color. The aesthetic on here looks alright, but if you can see that this thing is not fingerprint proof. And yes, I did go wash my hands before I did this video because I found this out after the fact. I was like, oh, that's great. I don't know why companies want to create a collector's edition and then put a matting on their product that is just going to soak up any oil that's on somebody's finger or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's poor right there. This is going to be like basically a scaling of 5, and we're going to knock a point or whatever points I ultimately deem out of that scaling within of itself. So this now we're currently at a 4 out of 5 because this is unacceptable. All right. I mean, this is something that's well known that people have complained about in other collector's editions. So for a company to be able to still screw this up and repeat the mistake that others have done before is objectively just bad. Now we open this bad boy up. We're going to save this monstrosity for later. This is literally -2 points right here. You'll see when I do it. The other 2 items that came from this is a patch. My only iteration is that it feels like a carpet. I don't really know. It just feels like carpet. That's what it feels like to me. And I don't really like the I don't think the shininess works well on here because of the material. I think it would have been better just to put a fabric-based one on there, maybe of the actual color of the cat. I get that's the logo, but yeah. But there's no minus point there because that is just more of a subjective thing rather than like, you know, something that they should have done, you know, like the matting on the cover, the case, the slit cover. And then it also has some art cards in it. Now, the art cards were not in here. I pre-opened them. That way I wouldn't have any issues taking them out, making the video longer. And that's where I keep them. So they are all different pictures, but you know, that's pretty standard when it comes to art cards. I mean, you'd have to be pretty dumb to release art cards that are the same picture over and over again. Like, wait a minute, I paid like this much money for repeated shit? That would be relatively stupid within of itself. Alright, so those things are alright. We're still at a 4 out of 5. But there's a bit of a problem here. I'm going to show you an example, okay? So anyone who owns posters, maybe you're not a diehard collector of them. I'm not a diehard collector. There's a few games that I have posters for, but there is one thing that I do know when it comes to posters. You never fold your posters. You never fold a poster. For a few reasons. I'm going to give you an example from this Rogue Galaxy poster. If I tilt it just right, you probably can see all the problems that you notice in it because the manufacturers decided to fold the poster. All of the creases are white lines. The issue with this is that that's where all of the ink is going to fade first. It's also where you're going to end up with tears first. It's going to start to basically lose integrity. Mind you, I have owned this poster since the game came out. on the PlayStation 2. And this is just from the pre-packaging. And you can't see it, but there is a tear right there. Why? Because you never fold a poster. This thing I received in the mail, everything, I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago. I just kind of opened it up, looked at everything, haven't even put the game in, and then set it there. And then, lo and behold, I went to actually look at it. And I saw that we had a poster that was folded. And I was like, oh, that's such an amateur move. But it gets worse. This is a new product, fresh out of its container. And we can already see the white creases. Not to mention, there is I don't know if I'll be able to put it in the camera. There is a hole right in this corner. It's already started to tear. This thing is supposed to be brand new. And here we are. This poster, and it's already torn from the manufacturer because they decided to fold it rather than put it in a poster tube. And I don't want to hear no excuses that it would have cost them more money or it would have made the product more expensive because then they have to ship an item separately. Well, this is called, this is supposed to be a collector's edition. That is definitely not collectible anymore. Yeah. So we are now dropping 2 points. So the overall game itself, the product, not the actual game, from iam8bit gets a 2 out of 5. Completely unacceptable. Those are all things that they easily could have had corrected and rectified so that it was not a problem or an issue within of itself. Now we're going to move on to this. Now, this is also roughly the same type of matting as this. You can see, where is it? There's some right here. And it's like, when I noticed it, I was like, well, shit. This has the same kind of matting. And again, yeah. So, we're at -1 point. This gets its own score. These were not sold together, just so we're under the same thing. They were sold separately, so they're individual items. So that's how we're reviewing them individually, not together, because they didn't come together. Now, overall, I like it. This looks way better than on the patch, but I also think it's the material that they used on the patch. But this looks good. Missed opportunity to put something on the back. Again, no docking a point. That's more of a personal preference, if you ask me. Completely missed opportunity within of itself. So we open this up, and then we're introduced to this here sleeve, which, of course, has some, art on it within of itself. And then it has individualized sleeves. Now, we're not going to take the record out within of itself. But the record does have a sticker on it in the center. It's orange, just like this sleeve. And it has a little icon, a little picture on it. And double-sided. Both records are double-sided. And the icon is completely different. So I do give them that one for, putting different art even on the sticker portion of the record. So that's unique within itself. And then, of course, we have this right here. Just some... So there's that and that. So again, that's not going to be a review of the audio quality. Anyone who's collects vinyl records and such whatnot know that your purists enjoy records more because the music's more authentic and it sounds way better opposed to something like digital music. So that's a known fact, so there's no reason for me to have to try to listen to the audio to review it within of itself. Okay, so there is 18 tracks and 2 records, double-sided. And let's see, most of the records, like the first record, is basically 5 tracks on each side. The second record, one side has 3, the other side has 5. So there you go. Total of 18 tracks within of itself, which is good. You know, decent amount of tracks, because I got the Neo no Kuni soundtrack. There's one fucking song on that entire thing. Well, like, what the fuck, Level 5? Not that this is a review of that, but I'm just saying, what the fuck? Hell, that's just some bullshit right there. One fucking song, and how many songs are in that game? Anyway, I'm going to give the vinyl record a 4 out of 5. They did way better on that one, and they massively failed, especially with the poster. You never fucking fold a goddamn poster, ladies and gentlemen. Never. I could go to Crap Stop, and they've given me posters, all right? Whether it was some kind of pre-order bonus thing I was unaware of. Sometimes I've even walked in there, and they asked me if I want a poster because they have extras for some game that came out. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And guess what? They're never fucking folded, because you don't fold a goddamn poster. So iam8bit, they fail. So yeah, overall I give iam8bit a 2 out of 5. Not very impressed. I probably would not buy anything from them again. And definitely, especially if it had a poster in it, because I know it's going to be utter fucking garbage.